If you feel stuck, it is not because you lack power. It is because you have forgotten how to use it. The mind you possess can build empires or prisons. And right now your mind is obeying a script that no longer serves you. But hear me, and hear me well. If you truly listen to this speech, not skim, not skip, but absorb, you will walk away a different man. You will walk away with motion in your blood, fire in your thought, and certainty in your step. But if you drift, if you half listen like the thousands who say they want more but live as less, then your chains will stay locked. Not because you are weak, but because you refuse to listen. So I offer you this moment. The key is here. The chain is rusted, and freedom is waiting on the other side of your decision to hear every word. You were not born to drift. You were born to dominate. And yet, you find yourself here, alive but not truly living, awake but not fully aware, stuck. Not because your legs are tied, but because your thoughts are. This is the tragedy of the modern man. He walks freely through the world while being held hostage in the mind. You see, most men live inside invisible cages, cages built not of iron or stone, but of fear, of doubt, of indecision, cages built from the beliefs of others, inherited stories, childhood whispers, rejections that hardened into walls. The bars, they sound like this: I'm too late. I'm not ready. What if I fail again? And here is the truth you must confront now, not gently, but with fire. If you do not destroy this cage, it will bury you alive. If you do not take command of your mind, your life will not be your own. And if you wait for clarity, confidence, or permission, you will rot waiting. This is where most remain, a slow decay of potential. Their vision turns to fog, their ambition to fatigue. They blame the world, the timing, the conditions, but never the true jailer, their thoughts. Now let me tell you what they will never tell you. You can escape. You can break it all, but it will require war, a war against comfort, against false identity, against the voice that says you should be grateful for what you have, while deep inside you know you were meant for more. Story. Henry Ford was not the smartest engineer. He was mocked, laughed at, even sued. But do you know what he never allowed? He never permitted the doubt of others to become the doubt within himself. He said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And with that, he shattered the bars of limitation that society tried to place on him. That quote is not a phrase, it is a formula. Thought equals identity. Identity equals action. Action equals reality. And if your thoughts are sick, so is your life. Now here is your first practice, and take out a notebook, a page, anything, and write this sentence. The reason I feel stuck is, then write. Write until the truth stings. Is it fear? Is it laziness disguised as overthinking? Is it shame? And then below that, write, if I do not change this, what will my life look like in 5 years? Look at it. Feel it. Let it disgust you. Because disgust is often the beginning of change. Affirmation, I am not stuck. I am being summoned to rise. Say it again, now louder, now with the force of someone breaking out of a cell. This moment is not the end. It is the breaking point, the one you'll remember as the beginning of everything. But only if you act, only if you listen all the way through, because the next part will show you the root of your chain and how to melt it with a single truth. Ready? Let's continue. The reason most men stay stuck is simple. They are waiting for a feeling, a sign, a surge of certainty. They want the fire before the first spark. But the subconscious does not work that way. It is not a motivator. It is a mirror. It does not care if you succeed. It does not care if you remain average. It does not care if you become a legend or a ghost. It simply reflects what you repeat, not what you wish. You may say you want freedom, but if your internal language is, I don't think I can do this, I always sabotage myself, I've never been consistent, then that is exactly what you will live. Because the subconscious does not argue. It obeys. It is the most powerful servant in the world, and yet most treat it like a distant stranger, whispering uncertainty instead of issuing command. Here's what you must understand now. Your subconscious will not wake you up one day with confidence. It will not kick in when the timing is right. It will only echo the orders you consistently give it, whether those orders are destructive or divine. Let me tell you a story that proves this truth. The man failed 10,000 times before creating the light bulb. And when they asked him why he kept going, why he didn't stop, he didn't say, because I felt good. He didn't say, because I was confident. He said, I didn't fail. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work. That is not the voice of emotion. That is the voice of command. Edison did not ask his subconscious for permission to keep going. He trained it to believe that success was inevitable, no matter the delay. He didn't hope to become successful. He installed it through daily repetition, decision, and identity. And you must do the same. Because the longer you feed hesitation, the more it becomes your script. The longer you dwell on weakness, the more it becomes your identity. The longer you wait to feel like it, the more your subconscious learns that comfort is your commander. So here is your practice. Not someday, not later. Now, write this down. The belief that keeps me stuck is... Identify it. Name it. Don't dress it up. Don't make it poetic. Be real. Is it, I'll never be like them? Every time I try, I mess up? I'm too old? I missed my window? I'm not smart enough? Write the ugliest one. The one that lives the deepest. And then, burn it. Literally. Take that page and burn it like a ceremony, because that belief is not welcome anymore. Now write its replacement. I command my mind to obey this new identity, and follow it with this. I am the man who executes. I am the man who finishes. I am the man who succeeds. Repeat it, loud, slow, with conviction. Do it 100 times this week, aloud, in front of the mirror, while walking, while alone. Every single day. You are not just saying words. You are laying new bricks in the house of your mind. You are rewriting the programming that has silently sabotaged your life. Because again, the subconscious does not argue, it obeys. So if it must obey something, let it obey the highest version of you. Let it obey the man who acts without permission. Let it obey the voice of purpose, not fear. Let it obey command, not feeling. I do not wait to feel ready. I act, and my mind follows. That is your identity now. Say it again. I act, and my mind follows. Now breathe, stand, look yourself in the eyes. The man you just spoke to, that man is being built. With every repetition, with every step, with every command, he's coming. You are not just a product of your choices, you are a reflection of your environment. The voices you hear, the habits you witness, the energy that surrounds you, all of it. Every piece of your daily atmosphere is a silent architect of your beliefs. Environment is not passive, it is active. And if you feel stuck, it's likely because your environment is pulling you backward, while your soul is begging you to move forward. You rise to the level of what surrounds you, or you remain at the level of what surrounds you. That is the law. You may have the vision of a king, but if you live inside a kingdom of excuses, you will speak like them, act like them, and eventually believe you are one of them. Let me tell you something very few will say out loud. If you stay in a room that normalizes delay, mediocrity, distraction, and fear, you will never rise, no matter how strong your mind is. Your subconscious does not only listen to you, it listens to the rhythm of the people, habits, and messages you allow around you. This is why Andrew Carnegie didn't just build steel. He built a mastermind, a group of men whose very presence forced expansion. Men who did not ask, is this too bold? Men who challenged each other to act before comfort arrived. Men whose standards were so high that even standing beside them made you think bigger, because energy is contagious. And if you spend too much time around the energy of fear, doubt, and stagnation, you will catch it. You will call it logic or realism or just being practical. But the truth is, you've caught the infection of smallness. And here's the most dangerous part. If you stay in that environment long enough, it starts to feel normal. And once something becomes normal, it becomes sacred. You start defending the very thing that is keeping you stuck. You say things like, oh, that's just how I am. So that's just the way my schedule is. I don't have people like that around me. Listen to me. That's not how you are. That's how you've been programmed. Your environment carved that pattern into you, and your silence maintained it. But today, you carve something new. If you want your subconscious to believe that a new life is beginning, you must change something physical in your environment. It can be simple, but it must be deliberate. Rearrange your desk, clear the clutter in your room. Replace a piece of art, or remove something that no longer represents your future. Throw out something you've kept out of guilt or fear. Set an alarm that goes off every day with your new identity phrase. This is not decoration. This is declaration. You are telling your subconscious, I no longer live in the house of my former self. I no longer sleep in the bed of delay. I no longer walk in the shoes of the man who was stuck. Even a single object change with purpose is a seed planted in the subconscious. And once it sees one seed, it becomes willing to grow more. Beyond the visible environment, audit the invisible. Who are you listening to daily? What voices speak into your mind through books, audio, or casual conversations? Do you keep company with doubters or builders? Let this be your rule. If a man would laugh at your dream, he is not qualified to speak into your process. If a man would flinch at your ambition, he cannot advise your discipline. You must surround yourself with standards, not sympathy. There's nothing wrong with love and support. But if your circle only loves you as you are and not as you could become, then they are not your circle. They are your cage. Even if you're alone right now, you can build a new circle. Start with books. Start with the men who already lived as you want to live. Let their stories become your environment. Read Carnegie, read Ford, read Edison. Watch what they did, copy their rituals. Adopt their mindset like armor. You don't need a new friend group to change. You need a new frequency. And once you embody that, the right people will appear. Growth does not tolerate comfort. You cannot grow in the same room where you started doubting yourself. You cannot evolve while clinging to the same schedule that keeps you busy but never makes you better. You cannot rise while everything around you reminds you of the man you're trying to leave behind, so shift something. Now today, rearrange your space, upgrade what you see. Change what you listen to, audit what you tolerate, because the subconscious watches it all, and the moment it sees that you're no longer acting like the old version of you, it begins to build the new one. Every man is ruled by something. Whether he knows it or not, he bows to a voice, and that voice dictates the quality of his life. Some men are ruled by a memory they never made peace with. Others obey a set of fears passed down to them like heirlooms. Some follow the voice of their father, their mother, their teacher, or the echo of a failure that's grown louder with time. But no man escapes the law. You become what you consistently obey. And so the question is not, what do you want? The question is, whose voice do you follow when no one is watching? That voice, not your goal, is what determines your direction. A man might dream of wealth, of strength, of freedom, of leadership. But if the voice he follows whispers of caution, of delay, of maybe later, he will never rise, no matter how grand his ambition. Henry Ford had every reason to listen to the world around him. A world that told him he wasn't educated enough, not trained enough, not ready. He didn't have the schooling, he didn't have the credentials, he didn't have the resume, but he had a voice, his own, and that voice declared, I can summon to me any man with the knowledge I require. Ford didn't obey tradition. He didn't obey the experts. He didn't obey fear. He obeyed his vision. And because of that, he built an empire. The chains that keep most men stuck are not made of steel. They are made of repetition, the same thoughts, the same excuses, the same inner dialogue, the same emotional obedience. A man doesn't even notice he's kneeling anymore. But make no mistake, obedience is a habit. And the more you follow a weak voice, the more you reinforce the identity that you are weak. Ask yourself now and write it down. Who am I obeying? Am I obeying fear? Am I obeying my comfort? Am I obeying my old self, the one who decided he couldn't long before he ever tried? Or am I obeying a higher command, a vision, a mission, a standard that burns even when I don't feel like following it? You may believe you lack discipline. You don't. You've just been trained to obey the wrong voice. Start observing. When you say, "I'll do it later," whose voice is that? When you delay the workout, avoid the risk, hide from the confrontation. What voice are you following? And when you do act in power, when you move decisively, speak clearly, stand tall, what voice did you listen to then? There are only two commands in every moment. One leads to freedom and the other to slavery. You are always choosing one. Every action is allegiance. You are either reinforcing the identity of the man you were or the man you are becoming. Your breakthrough will not come from another technique, another strategy, another external answer. Your breakthrough will come the day you stop listening to the weak voice and start obeying the one that sees your future. So I ask you now with ruthless honesty, do you obey fear? Do you obey your past? Or do you obey vision? This is not just mindset. This is warfare. And the battlefield is between your ears. Every man hears both voices, one that pulls him toward destiny and one that pulls him back into the mud of the familiar. The difference between the weak and the strong is not that one hears less noise. It's that the strong refuse to obey the noise. It doesn't matter how loud your fear gets. It only matters how often you answer it. You feed it by obeying it, and so now you shift. From this moment forward, your new creed must be this: I obey command, not comfort. I follow the voice of my future, not my past. Repeat it until it sticks. Speak it aloud. Etch it into your day. Whisper it before you act. Then test it. When your alarm rings early and your body says stay, whisper, I obey command, not comfort. When it's time to write, build, speak, or show up, and your doubt says you're not ready, whisper, I follow the voice of my future, not my past.